always has a fresh bed of litter. Plus, Litter Robot's sleek aesthetic is designed to fit with any space or style. Come see Litter Robot at your neighborhood PetSmart today. Litter Robot by Whisker, making life with your pets endlessly better. At City, we're ready for all that flow breeze. From extra guests around the table to cozy spots for a party of two. A place for every trick and treat. And room for your biggest wins. And right now at City's Fall Home Sale, get ready for it all. With up to 20% off, plus 60 months special financing. City Furniture, designed for love.
So on Crookshank, your one and only Move Swiftly speaker checking in for a daily Move Swiftly thought, giving you a perspective on teamwork you will not get anywhere else. So we do not teach you how to rise to the occasion. We teach you how to fall to your level of preparation. You like how I did that with my hand, right? Not rise to the occasion, but fall to your level of preparation, meaning it's right there. Your level of preparation should be what it's about when you're, quote, rising to the occasion, end quote, which you hear a lot of people like to throw around the term, he rose to the occasion. No, he didn't. He fell to his level of preparation, meaning he was planning, he was prepared for that moment. And when the moment came, he was ready. Stay ready so you don't got to get ready. All that being said, woo! That was a good one. That was good. A solid 8-mile day today. Good to get back into it. Finally got a lot of rest yesterday. Got a chance to take a little bit of time away from the school and get some rest, get some perspective on the priorities and what's actually important as we're inching closer to 2026. Let's make sure the priorities are where they need to be. Again, I'm learning with you guys. I share so much publicly because I learn along with you guys. I've dedicated my life to being a lifelong learner. And whenever somebody gives me something I need to hear, hey, I'm all ears, man. I'm all ears when it comes to development. I'm all ears when it comes to what I got to do to get better. I'm all ears when it comes to, hey, you're fucking up. All right, when somebody tells me, as one gets told, look, you're fucking up, as one listens, because I want to know what I got to do to get better for tomorrow. So all that being said, all that energy, all that grind, all that brings me to today's Top 5 Tuesday. And what we're discussing, what we're going to be discussing all week, what the theme is for the week is principles, all right? Having principles. What are your principles? What are your principles? What are your fundamental foundational truths that you got to stand on, and what have you lived through that puts you in that state of mind, all right? What are your principles? And you heard me allude to it a little bit yesterday, the two things that kind of come to mind when I hear the word principles initially, but today I'm going to do a deeper dive on what my top 5 principles are, no matter what. I mean, again, if you're rocking with me, you're rocking with these 5 all day, every day. And this is what we're about. Again, we may agree to disagree on certain surface level topics, but in terms of these 5 things, we gotta rock with each other on these. All right. So top 5 principles. Number 1, probably could have guessed it based upon the introduction of this show and then what the whole Move Swiftly concept is about. Number 1 is teamwork, all right? Number 1 has to be teamwork. You're not getting there on your own. It's not going to happen. Whatever it is you want to do, whatever it is you're trying to do, it's not happening by yourself. You have to develop it with a team. You have to understand that working with people is the only way you're going to get to where it is you're trying to get to, all right? Working with people, not working for people. Those different. Working with people and where they're at, working as a team, that's going to get you where it is you're trying to go, all right? Number 1, teamwork. Number 2, work ethic, all right? So work ethic is for yourself and for a team, meaning if you're not willing to put in the work yourself to get where it is you're trying to go, then you can't expect to find the right teammates. You're going to find people. Again, misery loves company. You're going to find people. But if you don't have the work ethic to get better on your own, I'm talking about in a high level of work ethic, meaning you're doing whatever you got to do to get to wherever you're trying to go. A high level of work ethic, then the teamwork won't really matter because you're going to find the wrong teammates as it is. So number 1, in terms of principles, teamwork. Number 2, work ethic. Number 3, the silver lining. The silver lining. This one's coming off the heels of Miss Erica Kirk's speech that she gave on the podcast, and also too the fact that over 90,000 people showed up to honor the late Charlie Kirk in his memorial service. Over 90,000 for a high school dropout. and someone that just went about doing his work every single day for 90,000 people, 31 years old, 90,000 people showed up to honor Charlie Kirk. That should tell you a whole lot. All right, so finding the silver lining. Number 3 is finding the silver lining. And when you find that silver lining, and again, it's not an easy task. This is a lot easier said than done because of how tragic and how heartless and how disgraceful and despicable some people are. It's important that you find the silver lining, and for her to get up there and tell and say she forgives the shooter because that's what God did, that is truly, truly honorary. It ain't got nothing to do with black, white, blue, green, nothing. Doing that in itself is absolutely admirable, and I give her credit, give her kudos for that. All right. So 1, we got teamwork. 2, we got work ethic. 3, we got always finding the silver lining. And number 4 and 5, I usually don't put 4 and 5 together, but it's absolutely necessary in this instance. But it's development and innovation. All right, development and innovation have to go hand in hand, because as you develop, you have to be constantly looking at how to do things in a different way. And I'll share this example a little bit later when I tap into the live stream. By the way, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share this out. Again, for any business owners that are really, really interested in employee development, that's what we're all about around here. So as we talk about development and innovation, I remember I was with this high school kid, and I was waiting with her. Shout out to First Serve. I was waiting with her until her ride got to pick her up or whatever, and it was getting kind of late. And she looked at her phone, and she was able to see the location in which her mom was there to pick her up. And I remember thinking to myself, I got to make a note of that, because development and innovation go hand in hand. On one end, yeah, you got to develop new phones and new this and new that, but the innovation to be able to share rides and make it so kids are safe and all that kind of stuff, that's where the development is moving in the right direction. That's why the innovation and development got to go hand in hand. All right. So again, Top 5 Tuesday, just to recap. Number 1, it's top 5 principles that I live by. Number 1, it's teamwork. Number 2, it's work ethic. Number 3, it's finding the silver lining. Number 4 and 5 is development and innovation. All right. All that being said, main website to check out to dive deeper into all the work I'm doing. It's makeyourmove.com. That's MakeYamove.com. One-stop shop for your teamwork
and your self-development needs. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good afternoon, whatever time of day you're consuming this evergreen material. Again, as one Crookshank here, your one and only Move Swiftly speaker, former Division I college football player, and current 5-time, very, very soon to be 6-time published author and educator. If you do not know, I created this whole business, this whole brand, this whole concept, and the whole Move Swiftly platform called Move Swiftly. It's all about taking the innovative teamwork lessons that you learn on the football field and aligning them with businesses and business owners, so they have a staff and or a group of employees that moves as efficiently, as strategically, as passionately, as cohesively as a championship youth or high school football team. Understand, notice the high school or youth football team, because that's mentality, man. That's playing in front of your family, man. That's community. That's parents dropping this one and doing this and making all sorts of accommodations just to get their kid to practice on one day, and then you got to do it again the next day. And then that group of young men coming together to produce a championship. It's not, college and pros. All these guys are getting paid, and it's a little the campuses and the structure around the programs is making it very convenient for these guys to go and play at that level. But between youth and high school, if you were to pick a model of the type of football team you wanted to be a part of, you would want youth or high school, because it's all sacrifice. It's all hands on deck. Let's go. Let's get this money and let's go be great. All right. So all that being said, as I mentioned just now, if you are interested in employee development and doing more things and having that staff that moves like that, the main website to check out is makeyourmove.com. That's MakeYamove.com. Just hit the shop now button, and there's books. There's how the workshops would work. There's all sorts of things that is being upgraded as we speak. It gets upgraded daily around here. What we do here is make sure, and again, mentally, we're constantly asking the questions of what the client needs, what the ideal client needs. All right. Turn your business into a championship team. It is common knowledge that the best way to win in business or in life is by avoiding ways to lose. Whether you've just started a new business or you've been in business for quite some time, there's no getting around the need to hire or outsource certain elements of your organization so things can run as efficiently as possible. When you book your meeting with One, he'll diagnose what the issues are with your current system and then strategically create a system in which will lead to a reduced amount of turnover or a clear understanding of the parts of your business that need to be outsourced. All right. And that is it for the announcements. Like, if you have been keeping up with me for quite some time, you will have to appreciate how quickly those announcements come out. I have, again, because my ideal client is the business owner that has 20 or more employees, I'm learning to spend less time on doing the live stream, more time focusing on making sure everything I say, everything I'm about, everything that this channel is about, everything I do is geared towards how do we help the business owner that's struggling to develop a system that's going to keep employees or bring in employees in a systematic way that gets it to so they develop. That is what we do around here. So I, again, made the decision yesterday. We're going to cut these live streams at 20 minutes. We're going to cut these live streams at 20 minutes. And also, too, if you are interested in seeing me do this like real time, just head over to the channel titled Film Session Saturday, where I break down the college football games. You see me breaking down the actual games. And as you see certain things happening for certain teams, you can see comparisons and draw connections in which what's happening on the football field and how you can apply it to your business. As you guys can see right there, I'm a diehard, psychotic, some would say psychotic Michigan Wolverines football fan. We had a big win this week, and as we head into the bye week, so I got to support the home team between the Michigan Wolverines and my Washington Commanders. It's always a good week, no matter what happens. Again, it wasn't the greatest, a lot of things that went on this weekend, but if the Michigan Wolverines win and the Washington Commanders win, that is a good time. That is a good thing for me. And the moves, I would love to see them win every week. I know it's not going to happen, but it would be great. It'd be nice to make it so they win every weekend. But whenever the weekend is where they both win, one gets a W on a Saturday, the other one gets a W on the Sunday. Oh, that's just good. That's just good times. Good damn times. Good times, baby. Good times. All right. So all that being said, let's jump into the article today. Today, we are doing what we normally do, making sure we're sticking to the system, and sticking to the theme. Today, we're discussing, as you kind of heard a little bit of a preview of it in today's Move Swiftly Thought, my top 5 principles. And if you go back, matter of fact, let me go back real quick. If you go back to yesterday, if you need a refresher, the definition of principles, all right, it's a fundamental truth or belief that serves as the foundation for how you live, how you act, or what you stand on. It is the foundation. It's the foundational truths, all right? And we're going to break down the top 5. And you should know, so we're clear, business owner, parent, coach, leader, whoever you are listening to me right now, you should know what your top 5 principles are. You should know it off the back. You should be able to say it. If I was to ask me and you were to have a conversation right now, and I was to ask you, what are your top 5 principles? What are the things that you don't fuck around with? What are the things that you just say, hey, look, I am not budging on this thing. And these are the principles that I live by. All right. So here we go. Let's jump right into it. And as you can see, that image. Actually, shout out to my boy Anthony Bethel. You see that logo right there? That's Anthony. Shout out to Anthony Bethel, who this was 2 years ago now. There was a huge fitness day out here in West Palm Beach, and then he came and did some shots. He actually has some of his artwork. I played with him, and he actually works at the school that I teach at. He does a lot of graphic design work, and I think, is it either this month or next month time? I think in October or November, his work is going to be featured in one of the museums. I don't want to say the wrong museum, but it's going to be a museum that his work is. Let's say the Kravitz Center, either the Kravitz Center or Norton Museum, which is really the only two that I would know. So, go check it out. Anthony Bethel. I'm not sure if he has a website that you can check out, but if you're interested in that, just shoot me a message and I'll put you on. Anyway. Let's get into it. Here we go. Another Top 5 Tuesday here on the Move Swiftly platform, where we talk about all things employee development and use the game of football to draw endless lessons on teamwork, leadership, and building cohesion among your staff. Yesterday, I shared the 2 principles that were instilled in me as a child. Today, I'm breaking down the top 5 I live by as an adult. Let's get directly into it. Number 1, very easily could have guessed it. It's teamwork. All right. Teamwork is the number 1 principle. It's the number 1 thing that I believe in because of everything I lived through. All right. You probably could have guessed this one. My entire business is built on an acronym that I shout with conviction because it's the greatest blueprint I know for innovative teamwork. Football gave me that. Every lesson I pass along to business owners stems from what I learned as a dedicated football player. If you run a business, teamwork isn't optional, it's oxygen. If you run a business, teamwork isn't optional, it's oxygen. If you run a business, teamwork isn't optional, it's oxygen. I'm repeating myself for a reason. It needs to hit home. It's not optional. I am living proof example of this. All right. It is a living proof example of this very thing. It's not an optional thing. You got to work with a team. Or you have to work with the team when you run a business. It's no getting around it. Whether you want to call yourself a self-employed person, there's still clients that you're serving. There's still people that you're serving. That makes it so you have to make sure you know the right client. You got to know how to work as a team. Period. Point blank. End of sentence. No matter the industry, if you're working with people, then doing it constructively and refining the process over and over again is a system you can never take for granted. You can never take for granted. All right. So number one, plain and simple, is teamwork. Number two, you see it, work ethic, work ethic, work ethic, work ethic, work ethic, work ethic, work ethic. Do you have the work ethic? Do you have the work ethic? All right. Work ethic. This one is simple, but it's not easy. You have to want to do the work. Key word in that, want. You have to want to do the work. You have to want to show up. You have to want to be called out. As you just heard on today's Move Swiftly Thought, there were some things that were said or made mention to me by a significant other this weekend that I welcome, that I love, that I tell her all the time, hey man, when I'm fucking up, when I'm, not holding up to the standard that I hold myself to, and you see certain things in my life that I need to be called out on, man, don't hesitate with that shit, man. Just tell me, let me know. And that's the kind of person my mother raised. That's the kind of person that I've become, because part of the principles and the things I learned growing up is that, hey, if you got people in your life just telling you the bullshit that you want to hear, you're going to find yourself not getting better. You're going to find yourself in the same fucking position you were a year ago because you chose to be around folks that make shit easy on you. No, tell me, get around me if you're going to be around me. And again, this is something that people have learned about me over time. If I'm going to be around you, if we're going to rock together, you got to give me the goods, give me how I can improve, because that is stuff that's stuff that's mixed all up in me that I enjoy, because it gives me that opportunity to show up and get better. So work ethic is number one. You got to want to do the work, period, point blank. And we'll tell, it's very easily detectable that when someone doesn't want to do the shit, it's very easily detectable. They'll go and distract themselves. They'll go do some bullshit. They'll do something to make it so it doesn't get done. The important stuff doesn't get done. All right. The willingness can't be faked or borrowed. It has to come from within. Just last week, again, a perfect example. Just last week, for example, I was approved by the CEO of the school that I teach at to pursue a certification from ACE Fitness instead of a traditional teacher's license. Why? Because my world, the business and the industry that I have always been in is athletics and fitness. But with my books being out, so I wrote a book titled Swiftly, Your Guide to Innovative Teamwork, while I was a trainer at 9 Rounds. So I was in the fitness industry when I actually wrote that book and have now intellectual property out, right? So my world has always been athletics and fitness, but my books, the state of education being what it was, and the long tail of COVID's impact, I knew I had to adjust. So I found a certification that was mutually beneficial for both the school and my future. The willingness to keep finding a way forward is the essence of work ethic. And the only reason it's not number one is because teamwork always comes first, right? And again, my work ethic to find this certification, the teamwork to work with the school I teach at to make sure that that's one that can be approved, done. But the work ethic needed to be in place in order for the team to work together. All right. Next thing, silver lining, finding a silver lining. This one is more challenging than anything, all right, because when you're going through a rough time, especially again with the fallout as we're seeing with a lot of people, like myself included, hurting from this Charlie Kirk assassination, finding the positives in that is a really, really difficult thing when you're in the moment. All right. So I won't lie, this one is tough. It's insanely difficult to find good in the middle of a tragedy, but there's always a silver lining. And the faster you train your mind to find it, the stronger you become. Take the recent example again, Miss Erica Kirk, her full remarks, if you can go online and you can look at her full video when before the memorial service and just 2 days ago from the memorial service. So after her husband Charlie's assassination, in a tearful 17-minute speech, she made it clear that what her husband built will only grow stronger and more aggressive. The shooter, in trying to silence him, actually made his message louder. That's what I mean when I say by finding the silver lining. Pain doesn't disappear, but pain doesn't disappear, but the purpose can rise out of it. So the pain of them losing him, or pain of us losing him, it won't disappear. But the purpose and what he lived for and what he wanted, all of that is going to just be magnified. And then there's a lot more people. And one of the things that actually Vice President J.D. Vance said, who, by the way, I believe is going to be our next president of the United States. One of the things that he had mentioned in his speech at Charlie Kirk's memorial service was, the first time in his life he's been talking so much about God, the boldly, faithfully, publicly speaking on what God has done for him. And that's just a beautiful thing when it comes to what you live by and again, principles and all those kinds of things. To be able to publicly say it, given his platform, is absolutely, absolutely honorable. So final two is 4 and 5. And again, I don't normally put 4 and 5 together, but it has to, it's necessary in this case. All right. Development and innovation. I usually separate principles. And when I say principles, I mean, I separate the actual thing, whatever the thing is for Top 5 Tuesday. But these two are so connected. I can't talk about one without the other. Just the other day, this is a true story, and I'll close you guys out with this. I think it was last week or 2 weeks ago, I was speaking with a high school mentor at the school I teach. I direct for First Serve. So shout out to First Serve USA, right? I asked her, so I'm speaking at, and you heard the story earlier, but I wasn't speaking, but I was talking to her as we were waiting for her parents to come pick her up, right? And I'm like, it's getting late. All right. So I asked her where her mother was. So she casually pulled out her phone and tracked the location and showed me exactly where she was. She showed me exactly where she was. So it made me laugh because when I'm thinking, again, every time I'm around these high school kids, it makes me think about what I was like in high school. So it made me laugh because when I was in high school, all I had was a flip phone with the tiny green square for a screen. That moment reminded me that innovation changes the tools we use, but development is what keeps us growing, right? So whether in this, and I want to pause on there real quick because there were times I remember when I first got the phone, it was because I was all over the place. Again, with football and all the other sports I was in, I was taking the bus here, I needed a phone to call my mom and my mother, my father, and say, hey, or my sister would pick me up and say, hey, I'm here, I'm there, I'm wherever, right? And now they have like location trackers to see where they're at. So the people who are waiting for them, and it's like, oh, okay. And that's where it is. It's the same thing that I'm living through, but it's the innovation now makes it so it's a lot more safe. So development and innovation need to be kind of moving in the same direction, and anything new that we do has to be more about how do we develop the right way, or how do we innovate the right way to make parents' lives easier and make it create more opportunities for our young people, right? Set better examples for our young people. The moment reminded me that innovation changes the tools we use, but development is what keeps us growing. Whether in sport, whether in business, sports, or life, you have to commit to developing yourself and others, while also staying open to innovations that keep you connected to the next generation. Without both, you'll get left behind. All right, wrapping it up. So hey, there you have it. Top 5 principles: teamwork, work ethic, silver lining, development, and innovation. These are what keep me moving, building, and leading every day. Now it's your turn. What are your top 5 principles? Let me know what you guys think. What are you living them, or are they just words? All right. If you're ready to build a stronger team, again, the main website to check out to dive deeper into all of that work is makeyourmove.com. That's makeymove.com. One-stop shop for your teamwork and your self-development needs. As one Crookshank, your one and only Move Swiftly speaker. Checking out. You guys continue to move swiftly. We will talk more soon.